Hello Aquarius Moon Signs, and welcome to your prediction for the full moon happening in Taurus on the 31st of October. And this is a blue moon and it's happening on Halloween or Samhain, which is very rare, so please stay tuned. So Samhain is a traditional pagan holiday, and it is the midway point between the solstice and the equinox, and it is traditionally viewed as a time when the veil is thinning, right? When it's easier to cross over from one realm to another, so it's easier for us to receive messages from the other side. It's also easier for the spirits to come through, and it's also easier for us to travel that side too. So be careful of doing that kind of thing as well. Make sure you're well grounded in your body before you go. It's a good time for you to light a fire and to purge the old and release what is no longer serving you. You know, we have the moon in Taurus. We have Uranus conjunct the moon in Taurus at 8 degrees, same as the moon at 8 degrees, opposite the sun, which is in Scorpio at 8 degrees. So we have 8, 8, 8. Shout out to my astrological resources, which is Tanya Gabrielle, the astrology podcast, as well as Molly McCord, all found here on YouTube. And so the vibration of the 8, it's abundance, it's the infinity number. It reminds us that our souls are eternal. It's about wealth, it's about good and solid foundations. And Taurus is about those good and solid and grounded foundations, right? And Taurus doesn't like to move and change, but with Uranus coming in to have this conversation with the moon, Uranus is the truth bringer. Uranus is shifting and changing and shaking things up. So it's not such a stable energy that we're working with. It's about destabilizing the thing we thought was stable in order to set ourselves free, right? Because the truth does set you free, and seeing the truth of the fallacies of which we have constructed our lives upon, the foundations of our society, the inequalities, the power dynamics, seeing those truths and seeing how even those who sit on the higher end of the spectrum of those power dynamics are too oppressed by this narrative, are too affected in a negative way, because until we can shift our society into a more equitable and sustainable and loving and conscious way of being, a way of being that is heart-centered, then we are all oppressed. While our brothers and sisters are oppressed, we are too oppressed in any way, shape or form. And all of these oppressions, they are interlinked, they are connected. And so may we shift our own internal workings and rebuild the foundations of our ideas, our beliefs, our knowledge systems. May we shift and change, may we shift and change with ease, and may we surrender to that process, because sometimes receiving these truths that can be challenging, you know. And for some of you it's going to be realizing that the job you worked for the last 20 years that you thought was so stable and was the right thing to do, right? Your parents said go study and then go work this job and save up for retirement, and then you did that and you got stuck in this rut, and then COVID came around and shifted everything up, and now you're realizing, whoa, I was actually being held back because now I'm stepping into my truth, as challenging as it may be. Alright, so we do still have Mars and Mercury in retrograde. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but Just don't sign off on any contracts without reading them thoroughly. If you can delay making long-term decisions, just, you know, sleep on those decisions. Don't not make the decision, but don't make it in a rush, right? Do proper research. Do some looking around. Check if there are other avenues and other options. Make sure that it's sitting right inside of you, you know, that it feels right, that your heart agrees. Tap into the heart space as well. So in terms of some general energy for you guys, Aquarius moons, we have patience, career transition, creative writing, and the Five of Cups. And so essentially, you know, this feeds into what I was just saying. Don't rush your decisions. Be patient with making those decisions. Sleep on them, because there's something you're missing. There's something you're not seeing right now. Don't be so focused on this one thing. And you know what? I know you've been through loss. I know you've lost out. I know you've lost something big and important. But while you're focusing on loss, you're unable to see the new doorways of opportunity making themselves apparent to you. But they could be shouting at you, you wouldn't notice because you're too busy looking here. Don't rush these decisions, and be patient with yourself while you move through these growing pains, because shifting and changing in this powerful way, it's not easy. But Aquarius moons, we are shifting into the age of Aquarius, and your energy is so important right now. And you understand this Aquarian age energy because it is your inner stirrings. But you need to ground. You need to bring those ideas through, and you need to be patient with yourself while you shift and transform and see things in a new way. For some of you, it's the career space that is shifting and transforming, and maybe it's already done 2 360s already, and maybe it needs to do another one. And maybe for some of you it's just one shift, but you're getting used to that shift, and maybe you're shifting within it to make it flow and work better. But for all of you watching, a shift within the career is definitely important. For some of you, you're going to be shifting towards doing creative writing projects. Maybe some of you are turning into script writers. Maybe some of you have started writing books. Maybe some of you have started putting together courses, online courses. Maybe you're doing proofreading. But of course, with that Aquarius moon energy, writing, intellect, logic, thinking, futuristic thinking, dreaming of worlds, these things come very naturally for you. Alright, so in terms of the energy we have leading up to this full moon for you guys, we have the King of Pentacles with the Seven of Cups. And I feel like the Seven of Cups keeps coming through for you guys. Aquarius moons, head in the clouds, living in your own little world. Bring that world through, bring it here. We need your worlds, we need them to manifest here in this reality. Dreaming of your utopias, let's manifest them, let's create them, bring them through together. Ground it down, don't get too trapped in those cloudy realms. Bring it down. Use your manifestation magic. Use the earth magic. Use this Taurus moon. Use this 888 code. And bring this through. You can. You can. Ground those dreams down. It's okay for you to spend some time up there in the clouds. But sometimes you also need to clear the clouds and allow the rain to come through and bring nourishment to the earth and allow things to grow here. Allow things to grow here. They mustn't remain up there. Ground yourself down. In terms of the energy you have over the full moon, it's quite interesting because we have the Hierophant with the King of Swords. And this Hierophant energy it's a masculine energy, it's a dogmatic energy, it's an institutional energy, it's about rules, it's about the way things are. And so I'm really just getting this sense that it's important for you to cultivate logic, discipline, rationality at this time, but it's also important for you to question those things. Question the way you define those things, question the way you use those things, and question what you assume to be logical. I really feel like there are some things being revealed to you within institutional spaces. Maybe you're studying, maybe you work for a big corporation, maybe you're dealing with a bank or with the government, something like this, but there are certain things that are being revealed to you that you're seeing more clearly, for the first time, more clearly than ever before, right? Maybe not for the first time, but the most clear you've ever seen it. And it is important for you to see what's here now in order for you to know the kinds of steps that we can take to bring your vision for the future through. Because you are visionary, and you are so good at using your intellect, and you are so good at coming up with creative ways to solve problems. But if you're so lost in the escapist part, you will be unable to see what's right in front of you, see what we're working with right now here in this space, and then see what needs to be done in order to transform that. And again, this is not your responsibility alone. There are teams and teams of people out there with the same visions, the same goals, the same drive. And so you also, and perhaps this is the institution that's going to come through. And you know, the other thing that might happen is you might be joining some kind of religious institution in order to link up with like-minded individuals, or a spiritual organization, but something a little bit more structured and organized so that you can meet the right people and start forging those bonds and those relationships so that you can get things going, so that you can make these plans and move forward into that direction that you are wishing to manifest and create right now. In terms of the energy that we have for you after this full moon, we have the Fool card with the Five of Pentacles, and so there is this sense that if you've been going through a tough time financially or in the work sector, that things are going to be turning around for you, that things are going to be looking up and they're going to be getting a bit better. So maybe if you own your own business, it's been a bit more difficult to get clients at this time, and you've been working really hard on the marketing. Well, that's going to really start paying off, and you're just going to see that little light flickering and the bit of hope and joy, that sort of spark. And maybe you're taking a new strategy within the workspace that's really going to pay off. And maybe you're shifting your business in a different direction, because there is also this sense with the Fool card of being right at the beginning of a new cycle, right at the beginning of a new and epic and exciting adventure. And the thing about this adventure is it's not just a super safe path, right? It's not just going to be nice soft grass for you to walk on. There's also going to be some rocky sections. There's going to be some sections you need to climb and scale. There's going to be some dangerous parts, right? But you can do it. It just requires that you are conscious about each step. So take each step with thoughtfulness, with caution, but do so bravely. Don't linger because there might be some danger. Do it bravely, but do it cautiously. Find that good balance between these things. But err on the side of caution without holding yourself back from moving forward. Do not sit in fear. You can do this, Aquarius Moons. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that, please do hit like, please hit subscribe. This is how you can support me and help me to grow. And if you would like a full tarot reading, please drop me an email. I'd love it if you joined me on Instagram, where I do a weekly live. That's every Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Time zone is GMT +2. And yeah, join me on Facebook to keep in the loop around what I'm up to and what's going on. And until next time, with love.
Thank you.